Welcome to Leather Connect. I am your host Kevin, and today we welcome Stephanie, better known as SharpFolksLeather from Canada.
Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm very good. I've seen you moved to Canada, right? How was the transition?
It was good. It was a bit stressful. Of course, we wish that it would have been a little bit more calm time to move, but meanwhile, I think it went quite good. How about you?
Yeah, I so as well in the same time I moved to Mexico, so it was a little bit similar, of course, with the COVID situation. It's a big struggle, especially you moving all of your stuff, I suppose. So it's a lot more organization. But why did you move? Like, why was the change? Why did you decide to go to Canada?
Well, I lived in Germany for the past 6 years. I went there mainly for studying. And after my master, I decided to work a little bit in Europe while I was there. Yeah. And after 3 years of working, I decided it was just time to go back home and continue my career over here.
So you're originally from Canada then?
Yes.
So actually, you went back to your hometown. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, I went back home.
I think Cavalier's Goods, the guy I interviewed, he's originally from Germany and he moved to Canada. So I thought it was a little bit similar, but yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, I went back home. So it was actually the plan was not to stay that long in Germany. But after 6 years, I thought, now it's time to go back home.
It's time to go, yeah. And you do it? Do you do your company with your husband? I saw on your website like some pictures of you together, I suppose.
Yes, a little bit, yes. So I do mainly the crafting, but of course everything like with the website, and I mean there's a lot of things to do in the company. So it's great to have someone else to help and share the task, especially during the holiday season. You know, where it was a little bit more busier than the other time. It was great to have some help also for prepping shipping and all these other tasks. You know.
And do you see it more busy like last holidays than other years, or is it like due to COVID that a lot of people order on web shops? Or
it was my first holiday season crafting, so I couldn't really compare. But it was for me, I would say it was just the right amount of stuff to do. So I was kind of busy, but I could finish everything I wanted in the quality that I wanted, and pretty much on time, not too early, not too late. So it went good, but I'm a little afraid of next year, because I'm telling myself if I could develop so much in 1 year, what it's going to look like next year. But I have more time to think about it.
Exactly. As long as we grow, I think it's good. No, if you can keep on a stable situation, but it's really good that you can do it with your family. In a way, it's sometimes I see it's difficult to the one does this job, the other one has another job, but if you can combine it, it's the power of two. You know, it's really
exactly. It's a great advantage for sure.
And he focuses more on the like you say, shipping and behind the scenes, I guess, more.
Yeah, correct. Back office. Yes.
And he has the skills in the photography as well, because I was wondering, I see like on your Instagram, all the pictures are really, for me, high quality. So I suppose there must be somebody there with some talent, you know.
Thanks, first of all. Yeah, we both love photography. I do mainly the photography myself for the product. But we both love that. I'm doing photography since over 10 years, always as a hobby. Okay.
Yeah. So you know what you're doing. Yeah.
I mean, I never had like really classes of photography or anything, but I think after 10 years, I'm starting to have like a little bit of an eye for what I like and what I don't like. I think with photography, it's a lot about personality. So if we would all have the same setup and the same cameras, the picture would look different for everyone. So this is how the picture end up is a little bit how I like to see it, how my eye like to see it. And of course, I'm happy that other people like to see my pictures also, because I do it like I think I like it, how it's right for me. And I'm having great success with that so far.
Yeah, that's really good, because I saw actually, I don't know, let's say a couple of months ago, that you really started to lay out the grid, like every time 3 pictures of one product, and it's really, it's a nice change. It looks very professional in my opinion, and it's really, I struggle sometimes, to not post more, to really stay to the, like you do, to the only 3 pictures, but it looks very professional. So congrats.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I've been looking a lot around what other people do. Sometimes you just scroll on Instagram and you find accounts and you're like, wow, it looks so good. It looks like a whole, and every picture is good itself, but the whole looks great. Yeah. So what I did, I kind of started to write down some accounts that I found were very, very good for the photography. And I just analyzed a little bit, what does it make them so special? Is it the light? Is it the effect? Is it the props that they use in why does my eye like this picture? Yeah. And that made me realize, okay, I like this a little bit more. And I like when the pictures have great light. And so that's what I try to focus on a little bit, because I thought if it looks great, if what they do looks great, then I can also use the same principles, adapted, of course, to what I think I can make, and to my camera and to the props I have and to my setup, basically,
Yeah. And do you have like a dedicated space to take photographs, or is it like all?
Yeah. I mean, so I like to use natural light. I think it's just the best light you can have for pictures, and it's always very constant. So I like to shoot always on cloudy days, because if it's too sunny, then the sun is very harsh, and it casts shadows that sometimes that are not really to the advantage of the product.
True.
So I just picked the biggest window of my house. Mm-hmm. And I shoot on cloudy days over there. So I just put just a plain leather hide as background. And that's what I've been doing so far. Yeah, I've been playing around with a couple of different backgrounds, and this one works well for me. It's simple, and I think it gives good results.
Yeah, it looks very professional, really. I'm here in Mexico, and I'm really, of course, it's a trend, and I do know, but I'm kind of in the moody atmosphere. But it's super difficult to take those pictures because it's sunny here like every day.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get the clouds every time. So yeah, I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm learning as well. I don't really have the professional gear yet. But luckily, like the smartphones, they are improving a lot now. And I'm trying to play with my ISOs with all the settings a little bit. And maybe in the future, who knows, I will upgrade my gear a little bit. But it's definitely a nice thing to explore,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people ask me what gear I use, because they think I'm using the latest camera. And actually, I use a very old camera that I bought 10 years ago.
Wow.
Which was quite an entry model. It's a reflex camera, but it's still very basic camera. So yes, you can change the lenses. So I don't use my smartphone. I have actually a camera, but it's very old. I bought it for traveling back then, and right now I'm super happy. I thought it was good for putting away, because I thought it's a bit old. Everyone wants new stuff, but I don't use something very fancy. It's just about finding the image you want in your eyes, and finding a way to picture it, basically.
Yeah. So. The vintage thing is a big thing as well. I mean, it's more about, like you say, how you set up the decor and how you maybe edit it a little bit afterwards. It doesn't really, you don't need 6,000 euros for a camera or dollars. Like,
correct.
It's how you do, and the light I see is very important as well. So that's really good. And how do you see? Because of course, obviously you're a female in the industry as well. The same like Nemo Leather Goods. I was wondering, how do you feel with like a more male-dominated community? Because I see your work is really, to be honest, like really high level. And do you find like struggles or how do you see that?
Actually, I don't find it very difficult. So I'm working also in a field where there's more men than women. So I'm used to that. For me, there is no difference. I basically just do what I like, and I go along with everyone.
Okay.
And but you can see that most of the people that contact me on the first hand, they always think I'm a guy.
Yeah.
They
I've
write
seen
me,
the comments
hey man,
like, hey brother, and hey.
yeah.
Exactly.
Hey man, cool work, and I'm like, well, thanks, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. I do see. Yeah. But so it's
for me, it changes nothing really.
Yeah. And that's really good. So I thought it was your full business, but it's like you still have another job then.
Correct. Yes, this leathercraft is just a sideline for me. I do this for fun. I'm working as a structural engineer as my day job.
Okay.
And I do leather outside my working hours when I have time.
Wow.
Basically.
And that's really good because you're only doing it for a year, you said, right? So actually, how did you like started thinking about I'm going to do leathercraft? Why did you go into it?
Well, I think like I was looking at the interview you did with Mark last week, and I have a very similar path. I think a lot of people have similar paths. The one that started 1 year ago, 2 years ago. While watching YouTube, I found some interesting channels, and I just totally found Little King Goods, and I thought, oh, this is there's something fascinating about how he do things and how he shows how he does the things. So I started, while looking at all his videos, I started having more questions and more questions, and I wanted to try it myself. So I looked also for other channels, and I wanted to do it the right way. And so basically for me, it was always a matter of always improving. So basically, of course, the first good I started. So when I finally decided to buy an Amazon kit and some very cheap leather, of course it looked awful. The first
with everybody probably.
Yeah, right. Everyone is like this, but basically at the end, I just tried to figure out how can I improve, and I always start even nowadays. I start from where the last piece I did. And I always take a couple minutes at the end to look at it and think about how would I do it next time? Where did I struggle? What do I don't like? Is there any details where I find that if there's design flaws or anything else that could maybe lead to problems on the long run? And I try to work on improving a small step every time. And so that's how you progress, basically.
For that, the main job, being the technical engineer, helps a lot as well, I think, to see problems and to try to, overcome them.
Yes.
It's really good.
I have a problem with problems. I like to find solutions to problems. Yeah. So
you more like the problems than you like the solutions, probably, then. Because you want to fix them in a way.
Yeah, so when I see something that I don't understand, or when I see accounts that do very, very high quality, fine leather goods, and I'm not quite sure if I could replicate it, or I'm not sure about the technique they use, then I get a little bit obsessed with that. And I'm like, I want to understand how they did that, because I want to be able to do it myself if I'm requested some similar products. So that helped me a lot. But of course, sometimes, you work the whole evening on trying to find the technique, and then you don't find it. You go to bed a little bit angry.
And you get stuck in the searching process, exactly.
Yes, no, but when you find it, it's like an aha moment. You're like, oh my God, that's how they did it. That's so easy at the end.
Everything was worth it then in the end there. But it's really amazing because it helps you a lot in creating new products, I guess, because to be honest, like, it's not to flatter you, but the things you make are really, in my opinion, high quality. A lot of people, especially when they only start a year ago, like they start with the minimalist wallets and the small things. But I've checked your page, and you're already making like handbags and like really intricate designs, in my opinion, and it's really, really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I'm for as much as everyone starts with wallets, I was never really interested in wallets.
But that's
perhaps because I'm a girl.
Female, I think.
Yeah, correct. Because being a female, I'm always looking more for a nice long wallet with more cards, which is like a step further. Yeah. And I was never really interested in the wallet game because I thought there's already a lot of people doing amazing stuff. Mm-hmm. And I thought maybe the market is a little saturated, or I thought for me, I don't want to jump in there. I would like to try other areas which are a little underdeveloped and try to shine there a little bit more and do a lot of different things.
Yeah, that's really, really good. And how do you come up with the creativity, like with the products? Because you have a typical way, I think, to design your products. So how do you get creative?
Well, for me, it all starts with my customers. So at first I tried to make ready to ship products, of course, like everyone, when you don't have a lot of customers. And I realized that it didn't work so well. So I started, the more I did things, the more my friends got interested, my family got interested in what I did. And they started requesting me, hey, can you do that? Or, hey, look, I saw a picture, can you do that? And this is how I started. And I started, I think I can do this. And then I always go with the customer and what do they want from this product? Would they like this? Basically, I don't see myself as a decision maker. The customer takes all the decision. I execute, and I ask them the right questions. And at the end, I have a list with points of how the design should be, and that guides me very well through how I'm going to do it, how it's going to look at the end, what materials do they want, what colors or the temper that they want. And that really reduces me to a point where there's not so much choice. And then sometimes I create myself a little bit something, but most of the time it comes from the demand of the customer. Is how my designs are born, basically.
Yeah, it's a good way to incorporate the customers and to give like a questionnaire so they can really pinpoint. It makes it more easy for you to in the end design it. That's really, really good.
Yeah, and they know what to expect also at the end because they took the decision. There's no surprises, or they decided all the little details, So every time I'm also during the crafting, sometimes I faced problems or things where I'm not quite sure. I would do it this way, but I always reach out again and ask, and people are really grateful that there's this back and forth communication. So they're happy at the end. It's exactly what they expected.
They feel more connected with the product as well, I think. It's a really good way. Yeah. And
it's personalized also. So.
Exactly. And how do you, of course, you don't need to tell me the complete pricing list, how you do it, but like in a way, how do you present, like this is going to be so much, especially if it's custom made, like do you the same like Cavalier's Goods, like where you give like 50% in advance and then you will see, or do you give a fixed price and if it's a little bit over, okay, then it's too bad for you, but how do you see that?
Well, I fix the price myself. So I go out, what does it cost me in materials? So the first important point to fix your prices, I think, is to know exactly how much it costs you in materials.
Yeah.
So, and then I have, of course, a little formula of my own, which I use to calculate what it will cost. And I submit that to the customers. And so far, I have not really have anyone who had comments about this. People said, yes, of course, no problem. It's personalized leather goods made for me. I think it's a fair price. And so, of course, I don't do ridiculous prices because I know I'm already quite novice in there, but I do fair price and I make sure that like I cover all my expenses, of course, a little bit more,
Yeah, but that's good because in a way you grow with your products. You can ask a little bit more the more advanced you get. And I think it was, Quarter Leather, if I'm correct, that he made like a video as well, like really explaining that something a lot of people forget is that they need to put their electric bill in the price as well. Like all the fixed costs you have, it's something a lot of people overthink, but as well, of course, if you begin, a lot of people, they try to undercharge a little bit because they think people need to get to know me. And I've seen it as well. Like, I think last holidays, I made like an old book cover, like a really big one and a really big piece in Pueblo and everything. And it was very custom. And I did my price calculations, but the problem with me a little bit is if I calculate all my hours, because of course it's a first product you make it, and it's you never really know how long you will be hand stitching it, because it takes really time and you need to be super precise. So in a way, I always try to underprice it a little bit, I guess, and in the beginning, people are really excited because they say, okay, that's really, really good price. But of course, on the other hand, I'm grateful for having the opportunity to do it. And in a way, then you lower your price a little bit to accomplish it,
Yes, of course. Yeah. But I think that with the question of the price, I think there is no right or wrong. Everyone have their own formula. I saw that video also from Quarter Leather, which suggested his own method, which is also good. And I think that you have to be comfortable with what you charge for a price, because if you're not comfortable, people will see it.
That's the thing with you. If you do like discounts as well, I don't know whoever said it in another podcast, but like a lot of people, they do Black Friday and all these discounts. I think STR Handmade it was, but then people are going to wait for those discounts and they're going to expect it, and the value goes down in a way.
Yes. And also something like I thought about the value of leather is I read somewhere or I heard somewhere someone said you don't know what your customers can afford or not, and you should not judge if they can afford it or not. So at the end, that's how I come in peace with my prices. I set my prices, and it's very clear at the beginning to the customer how much it's gonna cost. How much the shipping will be. I get an official yes or no. So basically like a confirmation. And then everyone is happy. There's no bad surprises. And the people have to judge by their own if they can afford it or not. And if they can't, well, I would be happy to do it in a couple months. If you want to take more time to think about it, it's no problem. But at the end, I don't let myself affect with that. I don't sell. I did that at the beginning and tried to adjust my prices, but I don't do this anymore because I have to come in peace with my prices, and I do this for the customers, but I can't offer rebates to everyone who asks for it.
Exactly. That's a really good strategy because in a way, it's not. I don't mean it harsh, but if the customer can afford your products, I mean, maybe in that moment, they're not really your customers because, there's a lot of mass production and a lot of cheaper ways to buy a notebook or an iPad cover or something. So if they want something custom, in a way, you pay for it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I have also people on Instagram that reach out and ask, hey, how much would this cost? And then I give them a price, and sometimes they don't answer anymore. And it's a part of the job, this happens to everyone. And at the beginning, I was a little bit like worried. I was like, did I charge too much? Yeah. And this is normal. This is totally normal. And at the end, I just like come in peace with that and say, it's okay, if they realize they can't afford my product, and hopefully they will continue thinking about it. And sometimes they reach out after a couple months, and now they know a little bit more what to expect for my product. Yeah. So then they have less of a surprise. People have no idea, like for a wallet, is it $15? Is it $150? Yeah. And when you give them an idea, then sometimes they need to think about it. True. And sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. But
I had this as well. Like I'm updating my website now to be a little bit more professional as well. But in the beginning, when I made some wallets, some bifold wallets and some normal ones, if I really calculated my prices, I came, let's say, to $70 for a simple bifold wallet. But in a way, it's you put your time and your effort in it, and as well, if you're starting out, not everybody can already order full heights and have all the leather. So transport costs are in it as well, and it's all those things you need to calculate. So I think the customers, they do understand if you just start out that you struggle as well with getting inventory and all that stuff. So you need to have some good customers who allow you to grow in a way. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the next thing is, I think that most customers don't realize how much work it is, what we do, because I did a little workshop last week and I teach a little bit how to start with leathercraft. I had 2 customers that were very interested in my work, and they say, hey, can you teach me? And I said, sure, no problem. So we made it via Zoom. I sent them a little kit with the leather and the basic tools, and I had the same kit at my home, and then we did it together.
Wow, amazing.
And their first comment at the end was, wow, I didn't think it was so much work. So you see, they had a lot of more respect for the work because they realized themselves doing it, that it's not as easy as it looks like.
Exactly.
So now they kind of valued a little bit more the price, I think, behind the effort.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize how much work it is. They're like, oh, you'll do this in half an hour. And I'm like, no, it takes me 4 hours.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good thing. I remember when I was in Belgium, I contacted like a professional photographer, maybe to get some nice pictures. And she told me as well, it's important, especially if you do handwork, to show like the customers that you doing handwork. Like
it's
not
made
all
by hand.
Exactly, and that's really important to get a connection with the value of the products in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you do everything by hand, or do you have sewing machines and like splitting service?
No. I don't use machine. I sew by hand. I do everything by hand. I take a lot of pride in this. I think it looks nicer also when it's made by hand. You can see a difference when you're used to it. You can see a difference on how it's made. You can see what's made by machine, what's made by hand. And I like to stitch. It's fun. Yeah, I like to stitch. I think it's fun. It's relaxing. It's a good part of it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe at some point, if I need to get my productivity rates a little higher, it could be that I get like a splitter or something to skive a little bit easier or make a little bit cleaner edges. But for now, I'm really doing the traditional ways.
Would you want to grow? Would you want to become full-time in the future?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think everyone at some point is kind of dreaming of having their own business on their own and do this full-time. For me, I don't know, because I have pros and cons in my head.
Okay.
And I like, for now, it's just our own little baby, you know, would just do it on our own. And I am someone who is hardly satisfied with other people's work. So I think maybe having employees would be difficult. Yeah. And at some point, I think Mark said it also last week, like you have to you have to have a whole other level of productivity when you do it full time.
True.
You need the money to pay the bills. Basically, if you don't sell, you don't pay the bills.
True.
And so you need to rethink a little bit your methods, and you have a lot more pressure to make products that are that bring in profit, that and I think leathercraft is a lot of a seasonal thing. Mm-hmm. So during holidays, there's always a lot going on, and perhaps after the next month are a little bit more calm. So
you need to cover
those.
Hard.
It's difficult. Yeah. So I'm still thinking about it, but for now I'm really happy that it's just a side job, and I have enough to do right now with leathercraft, and but I'm happy that like I don't have to rely on that for a living. To have like a day-to-day job is a good stability, and right now I really enjoy this balance between the two. Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, because I in a way. I had I don't know if you saw in the other videos. Yeah, there's some noise on the street. I'm sorry, but there was I did like a full-time job as well for 9 years, and kind of I got sick of working for a boss. And I kind of one day I said, okay, I'm just going to do the switch, and I'm going to go full-time, and of course, I have some financial stability, so I can manage to do it. But I do feel the struggle or the desire to create products and to find customers, and always there's like a small voice in my head saying you need to make a new thing and like to get noticed and to put the pressure, and it's difficult to sometimes say slow down and take your time, and because it's like you say, the bills keep coming, and there's like in a way it stimulates you or it motivates you to keep on going, but on the other hand it gives you
But I feel exactly like you when you said that you want to do it, and like there's always this little voice behind who's like, hey, come on, do something else. That's also for me, because I craft after my working hours, evenings and weekends. And for me, it's like my little candy of the day or of the week, because during the day I'm working for an employer. So I have to do specific things. And at the end, when I come after my day job, I come home, and of course I'm tired from working the whole day, but it's like my little goodie to do the stuff like I want them, to have no one to report to. And if I mess up, it's my problem. And if it comes out nice, it's also my fault, and it's nice. So to be reliable for that, it's really the nicest part of my day, I would say, to come home and like do this by my own. You know, I like to craft. It's a nice moment in my day.
Definitely, it gives you more pride if you know that you struggled with it, you completed it, and a customer is happy. In a way as well, I do see like Ryan from Little King Boots. Now he has an employer, and he's trying to look for a mortar and brick store, and so he's expanding a little bit. But I think it's very difficult to because it's like you say, the leather craft to a lot of crafters is their baby, and they cherish it like crazy, and to give it to somebody else, it's very difficult to then lower your heart and say, okay, let's just trust it, and let's just see what it goes. So definitely cool.
I'm not sure I could do it, at least not now. So.
Yeah, for sure. And with what leathers do you work mostly? Because I see you had a lot of variations, you had a lot of experience with different types. Which ones do you prefer?
I mean, I like a lot the Pueblo, like everyone, from the tannery Badalassi, and I've worked a lot with the Maya also from the tannery Conteria Il Ponte. I find them interesting. Of course, I find that for me it was more than so there was like the cheap entry level leather, and then for me this was the next step, so a little bit more luxurious. Of course, it costs more, so you're a little bit more careful. You don't want to mess up. Yeah. But I like the air smell. I like their texture. I like to work with them. They react differently. I find some leather. In some leather, you have a little bit of a margin for mistakes. Errors. And some other leathers less margin for mistake. Every small wave will pop up a lot more.
Definitely so with the Maya, because I started with the Maya. It's very delicate. It's if you can finish a product nicely, it looks super gorgeous. But if you put your fingernail in a corner, it can already be damaged. So exactly.
It's over. Yeah. So every time you start with a new type of leather, it's a whole new learning, because sometimes you expect it to react in a way, and then it turns out the other way. So right now I have a lot of colors of Pueblo in stock. Okay. But I'm looking a little bit to go in a lot of direction. I like to try new stuff. I'm gonna work a lot with Chèvre in the upcoming weeks in goat leather, and I like to try different stuff. The only thing I think, which is maybe specific to me, everyone seems to be obsessed by shell cordovan, and I'm a little scared because of the price.
Same here.
But I'm I don't know. There's a big hype about this leather that I don't understand, probably because I haven't tried it yet. But for now, I'm looking for much more for some other kind of leathers. It's the same with me. Like it's like you say, it's a big trend, and everybody tries to get their hands on it, and they do crazy things with it, so like coloring it and doing like really art pieces of it. And I do understand, like Thomas from STR Handmade, he said like once he started with the shell, he got a lot more customers, and I think I'm not sure if it is true, but I think let's say America and maybe more the Baltic area of Europe is more into that type of leather, because it has a specific field and a specific type of customer, I suppose. I guess like if you have more how we say modest customers, or more like I don't know how to say, like people who love more the fine quality, they are going to be more for like the Maya and the other types of leather. It's a very very typical customer, I suppose. It depends on the market. I mean, like Thomas said, for him it raises his sales a lot. And I think he probably found like a sweet spot where for him it really made a difference, you know. But I think that a lot of people buy shell cordovan just to work with shell cordovan, and I mean, it doesn't mean that because you work with shell cordovan, some people will come and like start requesting things for you. So that's why I'm always a little bit careful with new leather, with new product, especially with this one who costs so much, because I don't want to invest in that. And at the end, that it happens that my kind of market has zero demand for that. Exactly. So I mean, if you can find yourself developing a market like with this leather, of course, because you can price accordingly your goods. Yeah. But I mean.
But as well, I don't really think, I may be wrong, but like I don't really think the shell is really made for handbags and like really big items. I think it makes more sense to do like small minimalistic things.
Yeah, guess. And I know that there's on Instagram, there's also a lot of collectors that are super interested in shell cordovan, and they look for accounts and people that work with shell cordovan and they want nothing else. Yeah. And it's good. But on the other hand, I know also that some people get a little bit crazy with that, asking when they buy a wallet, for instance, in shell cordovan, they're asking, can you throw in a free keyring made of shell cordovan? And at the end, it's a little bit upsetting as a crafter, because I always also give a little gift with my every order, but I decide. So when people request free things, I'm uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, it takes away the passion in a way. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Correct. Yes. Yeah.
But it's really good. I saw as well, like let's say 1 month ago or 2 months ago, you did the collaboration with Body Belfast. That's really. I've seen you design like the bow ties and the really custom things. It's how do you experience that? Like how did you get into contact with? Because I checked it. It's a female only like Instagram page or business. So
correct. Yeah, she supports small female led businesses and female entrepreneurs, and so she reached out to me because she was launching her online shop, and she said, "I love your products. I would like to make a collaboration with you." And I said, sure, no problem. So we organized also a Zoom, and we went through the products she wanted for her collection, and the colors she wanted and the designs and stuff. So it went super good. I'm really happy how it turned out. Yeah. And it was also good because it was during the summer. So it was a little bit of a calmer time. It was not too busy for the normal goods. So for me, it was good to bridge a gap, and she was super happy. I was super happy, and everything went very, very good. So
that's amazing.
I'm beyond the moon.
Like you say, in the summer, then that means you were only starting 6 months. So already to have like collaboration or with the company that you believe in as well. Of course, like it's really good.
I mean, at the beginning, I wasn't sure because sometimes there's some scam on Instagram, and I was like, is this true? Exactly. But that's why I said let's organize a little meeting so we can see a little bit what she expects, and I can see if I can do it. And that was super easy and super early in the business, and I was really dedicated for that, and I think she was very happy also with the result, and I was too. So
very good products out of it. So in a way, it both helped each other. Yeah. And how do you do? Because Belfast, I'm thinking where Belfast is. It's more Europe, no? If I'm correct.
It's in North Ireland. So it was last year. It was still a part of the EU, so that was quite easy for shipping and for all the business side. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. Perhaps she will come back this year. We need to check again, make maybe a follow up and see if she has for the next holiday season, if she wants to make a special collection again. Okay. I would be really happy about that.
Yeah, but so, that's really good. A good opportunity. Yeah. Definitely.
I was very happy. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I was also like blown away to get that someone reached out to me after 6 months. It was very flattering, and I was happy about that.
Very good. Yeah. And how do you do with import taxes? Because here in Mexico, I'm checking, and it's really ridiculous. Like for me, shipping is crazy. I'm trying to focus now a little bit more to sell it in Mexico itself, because if I want to sell it, if I want to send it to America, it's 50 euros minimum for shipping, even with DHL or UPS, or I don't know how Canada is like.
Yeah, I'm still struggling to find out a way that works here. I found that in Europe it was way easier because of the Schengen zone, that you could really ship like in Italy for 15 euros or something. It was very easy to ship, to reach out a very, very broad audience in a tight space, and the shipping was really good. And right now I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, I think that in Canada everything is so further away that it costs more. But I will reach out to a couple of suppliers, DHL, Canada Post, and try to have deals made for small businesses. Sometimes they do this. But for now, I am also like not super happy with the price of shipping. I need to figure that out.
With the COVID, it takes super long to get it shipped, so it's very difficult. And do you ship mostly in Canada, or do you have customers abroad as well? Like, where is the most of your customers?
More in Europe for now, because I used to be there, so I need to find a way. But of course now I have a lot of friends and family here that are happy that I'm back, so I can do stuff for them locally. But yeah, I would try to develop a little bit more the local market if I can, because it's easier, and also because of COVID, I feel Marina was saying that also that people want to buy a little bit more locally and support the local artisans. Yeah. And I feel that also that people really are happy to support people that are doing handcrafted stuff around them. So I'm going to try to play this card a little bit in the next month, in the next year, and try to find more local customers, because it's easy for it. You don't need to deal with shipping. You don't need to deal with customs. People can come in your workshop and feel the leather themselves. So I think there's only advantage to that.
Yeah. So actually you started the leather crafting in Germany then, right? So how did you, of course it's difficult because now my business is in Belgium officially, but I'm in Mexico. So it's difficult to, it's difficult to, I started a little bit of people getting to know me, like you say, family, friends. But once you move, it's especially, I'm not sure how you feel about that, but since you're Canadian and you stayed in Germany, of course you build up a friend base as well for 6 years.
Correct.
But it's how did you see that, like launching a business in a different country, in a way?
I mean, it was interesting for sure, because I was still quite new. I was not born there. So to go along with the rules, with the EU rules, I had to research a lot. But it went quite good. I mean, of course, I was quite a young business, so I didn't went for the whole registration. And I was registered, but just as a small, just to be all right with the taxes. And then now I'm moving here, and I think maybe I will try to go a step further, I mean, it went well, of course, but I knew that I was going to come back here in the next years. When I started, I knew it already. So that's why I kind of didn't went too all in the business. I didn't have to move so much the business itself, So I planned everything so that I could start from here, Canada. A new start, and very focused towards a new business here.
Okay. Yeah. And your husband joined you as well then, I suppose, in Germany and all the way back. Okay. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Super good. And you have people that inspire you, that motivate you, I don't know, on Instagram or in other maybe local people who say you look up to, or you want to have ideas from them or something?
Yeah, I mean, I find that there's a lot of Japanese accounts that I find make very fine work, and I look at them crafting. Sometimes they do live videos, and I look at them and I'm just blown away of how they can reach such a high quality with basically the same leather I'm using with Pueblo. So I'm often looking at what they do, and right now I'm following the classes of Philip Jury from Leathercraft Masterclass.
Okay.
And that gives me a very big added value. So I learn a lot also from him. Mm-hmm. He makes very interesting content, and he explains it very well. So I look to that, and that will open my market also to do different stuff. Is where also I said I want to work with Chèvre a little bit more. So he used also a little bit more of exotic leathers, and that's maybe something I want to try soon. So yeah, I mean, I'm inspired by everyone on Instagram. I look at the accounts and everyone makes amazing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have one person in particular. I like to look at everyone's work and support them. I think it's important also to comment and say, hey, good job. And
definitely, that's a thing you see, because there's so many crafters now. It's not only leather crafting, but there's so many people starting something on Instagram. And the good thing, I think, is that there's no really hate or like jealousy or that stuff. There's a lot of people, they want to learn, and they try to like, they show behind the scenes and show that everybody's struggling and everybody is, in a way, it's I do see the community growing like a lot, and that's really, really, really helpful.
That's amazing for anyone that started. I mean, I don't think I would have reached the point where I am right now if it wasn't because of the community, you know.
Yeah.
Because as I said earlier, when I found some details that I wasn't quite sure how to make, I didn't hesitate to reach out to the people and ask, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about how you ask things, you know.
Exactly.
Sometimes I get people asking, hey, how are you doing that? And, you know, and that's not really the approach I do. I always went very politely, and, you know, I'm saying, worst case, they won't answer. But if I ask politely, my chances for me, I think, are bigger. And everyone who asked me also very kindly, hey, I like your product. I'm a little, you know, you need to put it in a situation. So not just like, how much you charge, or
it's not a cold
hey, how
question,
you do that?
I remember I asked you as well, like I remember the handbag with the zipper you made a design, and it's you learn so much things, and in a way it's a good thing, because I thought you were already in the business for a couple of years, so it's a good way to try to be respectful, I think, and you know, in a way then you learn more, and it's great how the community comes together in a way.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, I learn from everyone, you know. Sometimes I don't think that there's a big, for me, it's not important how many followers you have. When you have, you can have like good exchange with everyone, even if they have 150 followers. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's great to exchange with everyone, have their opinion, and maybe they know more techniques, you know. You never know what people know behind. And I think it makes it more enjoyable to me when I can have a nice conversation with people who ask me how to do stuff. I'm happy to say it. It's not a mystery. I learned it from someone, so I can say it again how I did it.
And that's a good thing, I don't see those people are not really competition. I mean, and they're not next door. I mean, they're in a different country mostly, so it doesn't matter if they know how you do it. Yeah. Like, you have your own skills.
Even if I tell people how I do my stuff, they can redo it. It's no mystery.
Everybody has its
own. Will look different.
Exactly.
So for me, it's no competition.
The beauty is it stays in the creativity. Like, everybody has its own designs and its own way of doing it. And one person works a little bit finer and the other one likes to be more rugged. So yeah. Yeah,
there's a market for everything.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah.
So,
now, what do you think in the future? Where do you see yourself, or where do you see SharpFolksLeather in, let's say, 5 years? What is the perspective?
That's a good question. I think I can continue. I would like to continue doing this on the side for now, because it's a very cool hobby, basically, to be able to decide this week what do I work on, and I would like to open an online shop. I'm working on that for this year.
Yeah.
So
I saw your website. I went to your website. I saw it was like Instagram feed and a little bit background story, but I thought as well, like you say now, the web shop, it's still in development. So
I have a landing page for now, but I plan on having like a proper online shop, because I think it makes it easier for customer to reach out. You know, right now people need to reach out directly to me if they want to have something, and I think. I was reading about Instagram strategies and marketing strategies, and they say the more touch points you have for your customers, the easier it's for them to reach out.
It's YouTube, some people might Instagram not, and websites and
some people are not very comfortable to reach out via Instagram. Well, then maybe they can go order something on the website. So that's why I would like to work out a little bit on having a bit more touch points. Perhaps selling via Instagram. Also, you can have like that little shop function.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would like to have like a nice flow, let's say, of orders without being too over demanded. But I think I'm very comfortable right now. I think if we could just continue like this, I would be very happy.
Yeah, that's really good because I see it's a really big rabbit hole, to be honest. Like I'm doing the web shop. And I'm doing Etsy now as well a little bit, and there's so much time, and especially like if you do website design yourself, like with Shopify or whatever platform you do, it takes so much time, and sometimes I see myself spending 5 hours on just one photograph or something.
Yeah.
Like it's and then like I think Dear Dagri last week said it as well, like to do Instagram promotions and to do advertising and to find like. There's so many different aspects that you need to be knowledgeable about that it sometimes gets a lot to do.
I think it's important to go to your own speed, you know.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Of course, we want to be proficient with all the using Google ads and using Facebook ads and Instagram ads and having a web shop that is solid and that works and. But that all needs a lot of energy, and we want to set up everything together. But I think it's better to attack the things one by one and like build a little bit over this every point, and then you build something very strong after. I think.
Yeah. So actually, most of your customers then, besides friends and family, came from Instagram.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah. That's really good. That's really good because
I could get a big audience with Instagram, and that's for now that was enough for me.
Yeah, that's good because I hear a lot of different suggestions. Me myself, I have some people interested through Instagram sometimes asking, but I never had like a sell already through Instagram. Yeah. Mostly it's like people I know a little bit, of course. So it's interesting to see that different people have different ways to do it, and it's not only one thing that works. Every community has its own ways to get it, and really good.
I mean, I know there's a lot of people that would like to sell a little bit more aggressively on Instagram. Let's say they would really like to have Instagram as their own as their main selling platform, but I see that a little bit differently. For me, I want the customers to come and reach out to me, you know. I'm not very, also if you read in my Instagram captions, I'm not very salesy. I don't put like everywhere for sale price because I tried it at the beginning and that didn't work well for me. So for me, I use this a little bit like a gallery, and I feel like people reach out if they interested, they reach out and they ask. People ask. So
it's a warmer approach in a way.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Correct,
And you have people you want to maybe see in the future on the podcast. I always try to get some new ideas, maybe people I don't know, like you say.
I mean, I would like to see Fadi from Far Leather Goods. I think he's we talk a lot on Instagram. He's very good. He's very helpful, and he's always a step ahead of me. So when I have questions, he's a good reference. And he's a very community based person. So
where is he based? You know where he is?
He's in Lebanon. He's in Beirut.
Lebanon. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Super good.
So maybe we can try convince him.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, actually, I the other day I did a little dare. I sent a message to Ryan to say like I'm doing this podcast of Little King's Goods, and maybe you know the 10th episode. Who knows? It could be like a really good thing to get him. But of course, he's super busy, and you'll see. Yeah. But for sure, for Leather Goods, I'm going to reach out and definitely.
He makes very fine products, so I think it's a great. It's another market for some other people. I think he's very kind person also.
Okay, Stephanie, I think we're almost there. I just want to give you a moment to say something, like the freedom of speech moment. It's in every episode. If you want to say whatever you want to say, it's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, as we said earlier, I think that everyone says that the community is amazing with Leathercraft, and I would just encourage anyone to reach out and ask questions to anyone, you know, and not just me. If you would like to improve, and if you'd like to find another new technique, or if there's something you not quite understand, ask. And if you can ask politely, you will get an even better answer.
Definitely.
And I think everyone will answer. So far, it did not happen to me that I asked someone a technique or what is this piece of hardware or where do you find this? And no one never answered. Everyone was always happy to share, no matter where they are in the world, in Asia, in America, and Europe. So I would just encourage everyone to ask, because that's how you build also a new relationship with people.
Exactly.
And it makes it fun, because at the end you're behind your workbench and you're working alone.
Yeah.
And it makes it great to be able to exchange with people that are in the same situation, I think.
Yeah. The good thing is I saw DS Leather Goods. He started now like doing crafting with DN. So in a way, it's a creative idea, and a lot of people are trying new things. So stay connected and keep the community alive. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's the key. It makes it way better for everyone.
Definitely. All right, Stephanie, I want to thank you a lot.
Thanks for having me.
I wish you the best with for Leather Good and growing and with the future, and definitely.
Thanks a lot. Best of wish to you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.